these the most useful flashlights that I've come across? Let's take a look and find out. We're going to look at the RovyVon Aurora A28 and the RovyVon Angel Eyes E7. Let's go. Just a quick announcement before we start. Thank you so much again for your support and your subscriptions. If you have not subscribed, please be sure to do so. The videos have been sparse lately. May and June at my day job here is very, very hectic and very, very busy. And so you can expect more regular videos in July and the rest of the year. The next announcement is that I'm gonna be at Blade Show Atlanta June 3rd. And so that's gonna be a Saturday, and it's apparently the biggest knife show in the world, and I've never been. So I'm gonna have a series probably of videos coming from that. I've got a couple of items that I'm looking for, but maybe I'll run into some of you. And if you do see me at Blade Show Atlanta, please, 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 please come and say hello. I would love to meet you and love to talk with you. Really appreciate, again, your support and your subscriptions. Be sure to like this video, and let's get back to the flashlights. All right, so this is the RovyVon Angel Eyes E7, and the build quality on this is very cool. I love the clear aesthetic here. You can see all the kind of the circuit boards. I've been carrying this for about a month now in my pocket, and it shows just a tad bit of wear and tear, but not very much at all. Now, I have opted not to put the belt clip on here because that is one of the negatives that I see with this flashlight, is that you cannot fit, it just does not fit on the light in a good way. Now, you can fit it on the furthest notch here and use it as a headlamp for attaching to a hat, which is really cool. But other than that, I just cannot recommend the belt clip on this. But otherwise, this is a great keychain flashlight. I've put a little Swiss Army kind of lanyard thing on here just as a decoration, but you can actually slide. It's got a hole right there in the side, but also a hole in the top right here that you can slide a key ring into, and it comes with that as well. The really cool thing about both of these flashlights, both the A28 here, this is the beefy boy, and this small keychain flashlight, is that it comes with USB-C charging, but also they include an extra one of these little dust covers, waterproof covers here, to increase the waterproof ability here of the flashlight. And so really, really dig that. Forget the extra keychains, forget all that stuff. Just give us extra little dust covers for our charging things. It's really cool that it charges USB-C anyways. But one of the coolest things that I neglected to share in my short that I shared a couple of days ago was that this has a cool thing. You get to push down, and then you just pop this open, and it slides over to reveal a battery compartment, and you can put a AAA battery in here. And I neglected to say in the short, because it's, you know, it's short on time, that this is actually a battery that it can use as a backup battery. And so there's a mode switch here. You see the little LiPo and AAA, and it'll tell you which power source it's using here. So I think that's really neat, a really kind of cool thing. And you can replenish those batteries any way that you want. And you can use, I use these pale blue, most of the time, there we go. I use these pale blue ones that you can actually charge via USB. They're not USB-C, but you can charge them via USB-A here, and you can just roll them like that. I really like that because both of them are rechargeable, but you can also just use a regular AAA at any time, a Duracell or a ProCell or anything like that. And then you just slide it back over and click it in place, and you've got an extra battery in there. Really nice to when you don't have a charge or you don't have the ability to charge, and you can use that backup battery as well. You've got two different things here, and that's one of the useful versatility features of it, but you've got two lamps here and multiple emitters. So you've got two emitters on the top, and you've got a few down here, and we'll go over those here in just a second. But you've got your main one, and I'll go ahead and turn this light off up here so you can see. So you've got your main one here, and learning the combinations to, there we go. If you do double tap, it will actually give you a nice short beam there. And you have the option in these, when you buy these from RovyVon's site, you have the option of a 6500K cool white or a 4000K high CRI. The CRIs are going to be a tad bit more expensive. But you just one tap through these to get more brightness settings. And it's got a very low moonlight setting there. And it will give you, if you double tap, you got a very low setting, you've got the medium, and then your high setting. One of the really cool features though about this light is that you've got a lamp here that you can double click, and you can get an ultraviolet lamp, or you can actually double click that. And it glows in the dark, as you can see. And I really like this feature. It gives you a nice low lantern look, and that clear housing just really kind of shows off the design, but also gives you a good bit of light if you need it in lantern mode. And you can change this mode to the warm light setting, and you get an option here of a warm white plus a UV light, but also a warm white plus a red light, and I have the UV version here. It's not quite as small as I would like, but they made it just about as small as you possibly could, fitting a AAA in there. And so really, really like this light a lot. As a comparison for size, here is an Apple Pencil. There's an Apple Pencil as a comparison for size. And then right here, you've got an iPhone 13 mini. I know a lot of you are not mini fans, but that's an iPhone 13 mini there. This light comes in at right at 60 some odd, this light comes in at around 6.5 centimeters with the little attachment at the end, and or little under 2.5 inches. Very cool little light. And while these have similar feature sets, this boy right here, this big boy, the Aurora A28, is the next one we're going to talk about. It is a very versatile, really cool EDC flashlight. So let's start with the belt clip. First of all, it fits a whole lot better than the one that I talked about on this. That's my only negative with this one right here, is that the belt clip is just, it seemed like an afterthought. This one, it seemed like it was designed with this light in mind. And of course, I think the round shape helps it out a lot. It's got a really strong magnet here. You can attach this to any kind of metal surface and it's definitely going to stay. It's really kind of cool. And then of course you can reverse this belt clip if you wanted to, and put it on a hat or put it on something else. But you've got a really cool clear housing here, of course, with the charging USB-C being on the rear, and I really appreciate that. You've got an attachment that comes with it actually that you can put here on the keyring loop right here, the lanyard loop, and it will make it a magnetic on the back as well, so you can just attach it to something metal there. But of course we've got the clear housing here, and let me show you a little bit about the light itself. And so we've got obviously a moonlight setting that's not very bright at all. This will last you the longest. You just single tap there and you go to the next. You got 4 different brightness settings here, and you go to that middle setting, but then you've got your 4 and your very, very high output setting. They're listing this as a high output LED, and I believe them, it's very nice and very bright. Then of course you've got your lantern settings here, and I call them lantern settings. They're not calling them lantern settings on the website or anything, but this is kind of a dual switch here. The second switch gives you a little tiny lantern. And so this, unlike this one, does not glow in the dark. When you have this lantern effect on, it's not going to glow in the dark. You can have 2 brightness settings on that, and it gives you a pretty decent amount of light. And it's a really nice to be able to hang up maybe in a tent or something like that. Very nice. And then of course you change modes here to the red light, and you've got a number of different settings for your red light, and this is going to be primarily for night vision, obviously, so you don't ruin your night vision, and you can have a red light in the dark. But then you've got a couple of distress settings, so you've got a much brighter setting obviously there if you need a little bit more output. But then you've got a blinking setting, and then you've got a strobe setting. Apologies for the strobe if you're sensitive to that. And it actually does really well. If you could attach this to a car, with this metal thing, any kind of metal part on your car, you could attach this to if your car's dead or something like that on the side of the road. This light is definitely going to be bright enough on a dark road to get somebody's attention so you could get help. Overall, these 2 lights are fantastic. I would highly recommend them, and I really appreciate RovyVon sending them out. Of course, this is the Angel Eyes E7 and the Aurora A28. You can find the links in the description below, so make sure that you check those out. I really appreciate them sending these over. I have been using and will continue to use these lights as well for a number of trips this summer, but also for some camping trips as well. And really looking forward to that. And thank you so much for being here and for taking the time to watch the video. Like and subscribe, of course, help out the algorithm and help out the channel. Doesn't cost you anything. And we'll be back very soon with some EDC, more EDC content.